Hi, today I wanted to talk to you about the phenomenon of UFOs. The interest in UFOs has been going on since the 1950s. The belief in and the study of UFOs in the US has gained a significant degree of respectability by more than a few theologians and scientists over the past several years. Thousands of people of all ages report observing UFOs and occasionally their occupants each year. The entertainment industry has produced huge numbers of movies that involve UFOs and beings from other planets. There have been thousands of books and articles written supporting a plethora of different views and theories about what UFOs are and what this phenomenon means to humanity. Dozens of documentaries have been produced and made available to the major media outlets that prove there is advanced alien life on other planets, and some of these aliens have traveled vast distances from their planet to Earth via their advanced technology. There are different reasons given by those who believe we are being visited by beings from other planets and as to why they are interested in the affairs of mankind. One reason commonly offered is that they are here to help us. A recent reason given that is gaining popularity is that aliens want to help us save the environment. Another reason given is they are here to study us. A third popular reason given is that they are here to change us. With this view, the aliens have a desire for humans to become more advanced like they are, and that could include infusing humans with alien DNA. Other and more extravagant reasons are offered. Evidence that would lend credence to any of these views is seriously lacking. The truth is, for most people, there is much difficulty in discerning what is fact and what is fiction. Yet, the UFO phenomenon is a very serious issue and should not be taken lightly. Christians should be able to offer a coherent biblical-based response regarding the UFO phenomenon. Are we being visited by advanced beings from other planets? If not, then how do we explain this phenomenon? Today I want to address the UFO phenomenon from a biblical-based perspective, which is a far different approach than those who employ a non-biblical-based worldview. Unfortunately, some Christians have relied too much on non-Christians for their answers on this topic and have not invested their time searching the scriptures for answers to their important questions. There is much to learn about this phenomenon by studying the scriptures. What the Bible reveals to us is far different than those who claim aliens are from other planets. The Bible reveals there is a large number of beings that did not originate on Earth who are keenly interested in the affairs of mankind. But these beings are not alien beings from other planets. They are spiritual beings who are evil and are attempting to use deception and lying wonders to deceive mankind. Their goal is to thwart the will and plans of God, the creator of the physical universe and all that lives in it. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the UFO phenomenon involving aliens is in reality part of Satan's evil scheme to deceive and spiritually corrupt mankind. Worldwide interest in the UFO phenomenon has significantly increased during the past several years. Many Christians have either struggled to offer a comprehensive and coherent biblical-based approach that is consistent with the evidence, or have to a large extent avoided addressing the issue at all. When the evidence and scriptures are examined carefully and objectively, it will be obvious to any Christian who is a serious student of UFOs why Christians need to take the UFO phenomenon with forethought and prudence. Those who are not Christians, and some that are, will generally understand that the UFO phenomenon, that if real, then it is about physical spaceships piloted by aliens from incredibly far away solar systems. The evidence, however, when examined from a biblical worldview, clearly points to a far different explanation. For those subscribing to the extraterrestrial or ET view, the critical component of the UFO phenomenon is about biological non-human sentient beings possessing an intense interest involving humans on Earth. These beings are in fact real, non-physical, and they are able to manipulate energy and utilize deception to bring about their own agenda. It would be considered prudent to first begin examining the UFO phenomenon in a more general approach. There are more than a few facets of the UFO phenomenon that should be reviewed, and even a brief review merits attention. The beginning or the modern study of UFOs, at least for the US, is based on two unrelated incidents that occurred in 1947. The first incident occurred on June 24, when a pilot named Kenneth claimed that he saw 9 metallic unidentified flying objects traveling at an estimated speed in excess of 1,000 miles per hour while flying a small airplane above the Cascades Mountains in Washington state. A few days later, on July 7, a flying disc with occupants allegedly crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. While these two events had earthly origins, both appear to have been early post-World War II classified military aircraft. They are given credit for ushering in the modern era of the study of UFOs. These two incidents stoked the imagination of thousands of men and women in the US who began for the first time to seriously entertain the idea it is possible Earth is being visited by intelligent creatures from other solar systems. Those who have seriously studied the UFO phenomenon are fully aware that UFOs and their occupants have been observed by credible witnesses before 1947. Since the Roswell UFO event, hundreds of thousands of UFO sightings in the US have been reported. And for the most part, these reports came from credible witnesses. Even the US government officially investigated UFOs back in the 1950s and 60s. UFOs and their occupants are seen by people from all walks of life. Military personnel, doctors, teachers, religious leaders, children, mechanics, accountants, etc. have all reported observing UFOs occupants. Encountering UFO and related phenomena is not restricted to any age, gender, religion, occupation, educational level or socioeconomic status. A significant number of U.S. Americans believe UFOs exist. According to a 2012 National Geographic survey, almost 36% of adult Americans believe UFOs are real. Each time a major survey is conducted, this percentage actually slightly increases. One thing obviously apparent is that the UFO phenomenon is quite complex for several reasons. There is no one explanation that can even attempt to adequately explain the UFO phenomenon. One reason the UFO phenomenon is complex is about 93% of all UFO reports can be explained without the need to employ paranormal or extraterrestrial theories. This 93% includes 6 different reasons. First, the misidentification of man-made technology that is unfamiliar to the observer. This may include unconventional and experimental aircraft, rockers, flares, holographic projections, etc. Second, the misidentification of man-made technology that is familiar to the observer but is seen in unusual circumstances. Third, misidentified natural phenomena that the observer is familiar with but is seen in unusual circumstances such as in low-altitude clouds or fog or during inclement weather conditions. Fourth, misidentified natural phenomena that the observer is unfamiliar with and is seen in usual or unusual circumstances. This could include a meteor, ball lightning, comets, etc. Fifth, hallucinations, and hoaxes. Sixth, the observer's medical or physical condition caused misidentifying phenomena such as poor vision, extreme physical or mental stress, etc. These 6 categories explain a very high percentage of the UFO reported sightings. Since the above addresses about 93% of all UFO reported sightings, what about the other 7%? It is this 7% that compels us to conclude UFO phenomenon is real, that it does involve intelligent beings that did not originate on Earth, and they have a fervent interest in the affairs of humanity. It is this 7% that often involves UFO occupants, alien contact, and abductions. It is this 7% that we, as Christians, must take seriously. According to the entertainment industry and mainstream media, if UFOs are real, then this means there are advanced, intelligent beings from other planets using complex technology so they can travel to our planet. The Bible simply does not support such a view. The vast majority of UFO reports can be explained without any need to resort to exotic theories, which can include extraterrestrial theory. This means for every 1,000 UFO reports, there are only about 70 reports that possess serious merit. This 7% involves UFO sightings where there may have been multiple and independent witnesses, physical evidence, for example, scorched grass, damaged vehicle, etc., and may even include observing or involving what may appear to be the operators, occupants of the UFO. There are at least a few thousand men and women, some whom are also born-again Christians, who allege to have either been abducted by or contacted by aliens whose origins are from planets outside our solar system. It is these credible reports that possess a high level of strangeness that warrants our attention. Thousands of these kinds of reports have been submitted to various UFO organizations. It is advisable not to overlook or to make light of UFO reports involving a high level of strangeness just because some UFO reports turn out to be misidentifications of either natural phenomena or man-made technology, and in some cases a combination of both. The fact is, the majority of those making claims to be either a contactee or abductee are not mentally ill. Those who are contactees or abductees often report various physical problems that are unusual or rare. Some report experiencing psychic phenomena after the first encounter. Others claim that over time, they have multiple encounters with these beings claiming to be from another planet. The other type of encounter involves being abducted. Christians are not immune from these encounters. The person is taken against his or will is typically physically or medically, or both, examined in a rather primitive and bizarre fashion and then released. There even may be psychic phenomena associated with the experience. This type of encounter can adversely affect the abductee's physical health. A few abductees report multiple abductions over several. One well-known example of Christians being abducted involved 3 women, Mona Stafford, Louise Smith, and Elaine Thomas, claimed to have been abducted by UFO aliens near Stanford, Kentucky in 1976. This is perhaps one of the better documented and investigated cases of UFO alien abduction. All 3 women were together when the UFO appeared and when the abduction occurred. As time went by, all 3 women maintained their abduction actually occurred. The lives of these 3 women were dramatically and permanently altered because of these abductions. Were these 3 women abducted by aliens from another planet? If so, for what purpose? Why were they released? How could aliens from another solar system benefit from abducting these women? Many questions without answers. We are left with 4 possibilities. First, the women fabricated the entire story. But for what purpose? They were well known in their community and all 3 were faithful church-going women. No evidence was discovered to suggest they fabricated such an outlandish story. Secondly, they all 3 hallucinated at the same time. It would be irresponsible to even suggest such a possibility. Third, they were abducted by aliens from another planet. On the surface, it seems this issue is possible. Again, for what purpose would aliens travel vast distances merely to detain 3 women for a short time? Fourth, the 3 women were victims of one of Satan's lying wonders, 2 Thessalonians 2:9 and 2 Corinthians 2:11, or one of his evil masquerades. This 4th possibility seems highly probable considering the fact Satan is real and he has the power and desire to deceive human beings. The Bible offers no direct support to the 3rd view. There are no biblical passages to refer to suggesting God created other physical beings similar in some ways to humans on other planets. Unfortunately, there have been tens of thousands of adults claiming to have been either a contactee or an abduction victim. Some claims are made by mentally unstable persons, or these claims are nothing but a fabricated hoax for perhaps publicity and financial gain. For the most part, these claims are made by persons who have not exhibited signs of mental instability or mental illness. It seems imprudent to simply brush aside all of these claims merely because a few are illegitimate. There are simply too many allegations made by sensible, mentally sound, and responsible people whose lives have been profoundly altered by these bizarre experiences. This leaves us with 3 possible explanations for the UFO abduction contactee phenomenon. Resort to the concept we are being visited by alien spacecraft or that spiritual beings called demons are responsible for the reported UFO encounters that involve a high level of strangeness. For those subscribing to this view, the UFO phenomenon involves hoaxes, either the perpetrator or victim, hallucinations, misidentification of either man-made technology, meteorological phenomenon, meteors, ball lightning, etc., or astronomical phenomenon, planets, stars, etc. For them, the UFO phenomenon by its very nature does not have any serious impact on humanity. The 3rd possibility is that the UFO phenomenon involves biological beings and technology originating on planets other than Earth and employing technology unknown to humans. The physical and its natural universe is necessary. The physical size of the universe is so vast that the human mind cannot adequately grasp its vastness. The physical universe, while finite, is unimaginably vast, wondrous, complex and finely tuned. In fact, the size of the universe is unknown. There is even debate in the scientific community as to whether multiple universes exist at the same time. As this paper is being prepared, many astronomers estimate that in this universe there are at least 2 trillion galaxies, and on average, there are about 100 billion stars in each galaxy. The number of stars God created more than staggers human imagination. With the unproven assumption that each star has just 3 planets, the sheer number of planets cannot be fully comprehended by the human mind. For those who suggest some UFOs travel to Earth from some faraway planet, claim there are so many planets in the physical universe that it is rational to conclude it is highly probable some of those planets harbor intelligent life for years. To begin with, it is not known how many planets there are, but there are many other important factors. Second, the more astronomers and other related scientists study our universe, the more they surmise that Earth perhaps is a unique planet after all. For now, there is no evidence that life outside of Earth exists. Actual proof other planets can produce or sustain complex life of any kind has not been discovered. Whether microscopic organisms exist elsewhere is a different topic. This issue centers around the possibility or probability of biological and sentient life so advanced that some civilizations have determined and committed vast resources to enable some of their members leave their home world and travel to Earth, assuming they knew of Earth's location. For additional perspective, if a UFO departed a planet many light years away, light travels 186,000 miles per second, from Earth, the distances would simply be too vast. The nearest star to our Sun is a small, red dwarf, low-mass star called Proxima Centauri, which is more than 4 light years away. That means if a spaceship traveled 186,000 miles per second, it would take slightly more than 4 years to travel from Proxima Centauri to our solar system. For a UFO to travel the speed of light, the spacecraft would need approximately 100,000 years to travel from one end of our galaxy to the other end, and then it would need 5 million years to travel to the next nearest galaxy. The numbers simply do not add up for spaceships traveling from one solar system to another. Those who believe UFOs are physical craft from other planets believe the UFOs travel either much faster than the speed of light or use shortcuts which they claim may be space-time distortions commonly called wormholes, which if they exist would be natural phenomena that can bend space and time. There is no evidence this is even possible. Physical objects traveling faster than the speed of light would completely discredit Einstein's theory of relativity. Regardless of how vast the physical universe is, and how many stars and planets exist, God is given credit for its creation. See John 1:3. Isaiah 40:26 says, "Lift your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names by the greatness of his might, for he is strong in power, not one failed." Nehemiah 9:6 says God made the starry host. In Deuteronomy 10:14 we read that God created the highest heavens. In Genesis 2:1 we read where God created the heavens, and it is the physical universe that declares the glory of God, Psalms 19:1. Regardless of the size of the universe and what exists in it, God is the creator and sustainer of this wondrous physical realm. While focusing on creation, we are not to lose focus on its creator. The majority of UFO enthusiasts in general reject the biblical account of creation and accept atheistic evolution. In other words, life regardless of its complexity is nothing more than a product of time, energy, and random events. For atheists, there is no creator. Without any needed elaboration, atheists reject the idea Satan and his horde of demons are also real and active on Earth. While there is no evidence to demonstrate there is complex life on other planets, this does not mean God cannot create life elsewhere, nor does it mean God has not created life on other planets. The reality is there is no evidence to suggest God did. There are certainly no Bible verses to reference that would suggest God created people elsewhere. For more information about this particular topic, a review of the so-called Fermi-Drake paradox is recommended. The Fermi-Drake paradox is a mathematical expression formulated to attempt to estimate the probability of locating intelligent life in the universe. The ultimate conclusion is that if there were other intelligent life in our galaxy, humans would already have evidence proving intelligent life did exist on other planets. Since we do not already have this evidence, this proves there is no intelligent, communicating life elsewhere. In this case, the absence of evidence is itself evidence. There are 9 reasons to reject the idea of human-like life on other planets. First, close encounters of UFO occupants or aliens are far too frequent. There are at least several hundred of these cases reported each year. The massive number of these close encounters over a few decades in the US alone is staggering. There is no evidence that humanoid life exists anywhere except on Earth. Second, humans are not biologically adapted for long space flights. Third, UFO aliens offer conflicting and contradictory statements to those whom they encounter. Fourth, there are too many different types and kinds of aliens reported. Fifth, there is no spaceship located to examine. Sixth, no alien has ever presented itself to a human for examination. Seventh, no alien technology has been located or given to humans for examination. 8. No video evidence, videos made by the many satellites orbiting Earth, of UFOs entering our solar system. Most of the proponents of the extraterrestrial theory are either atheists or agnostics. Whatever their position is on the origin of life, for them there is no personal God. For atheists, the universe exists without an objective purpose and objective value. So is there a spiritual explanation of the UFO phenomenon? Yes, there is. Here is the evidence that points to a spiritual explanation. Part of the issue when examining the UFO phenomenon is to properly determine what is and what is not evidence. What is and what is not considered evidence depends in part on the perspective of the UFO investigator. An investigator who is committed to the extraterrestrial theory may often reject anything that would weaken or disprove his core beliefs. An atheist UFO investigator, as most are, will not have the same perspective as that of a Christian. An atheist will either reject outright or misinterpret any evidence that supports the view that the UFO phenomenon involves fallen angels. If the UFO phenomenon is not connected to aliens from other planets, that leaves only one viable and tenable option: the UFO phenomenon requires a spiritual explanation. The spiritual view makes the most sense. The view that the UFO phenomenon is dealing with fallen angels is consistent with the evidence, is rational, is logically coherent, and is compatible with biblical teaching on the abilities and powers possessed by fallen angels. Even non-Christians who have spent several years investigating the UFO phenomenon have concluded it is very real, and yet they reject the extraterrestrial theory. For example, Dr. Allen Hynek is considered to have been one of the best known and respected UFO investigators. Several years ago, he was employed by the US government as a UFO investigator. Hynek's classic book, The UFO Experience, is considered required reading by anyone seriously interested in the UFO phenomenon. Hynek, who held a PhD in astronomy, rejected the extraterrestrial theory. Later in life, he concluded, "I have come to support less and less the idea that UFOs are nuts and bolts spacecrafts from other worlds. There are just too many things going against this theory. To me, it seems ridiculous that superintelligence would travel great distances to do relatively stupid things like stop cars, collect soil samples, and frighten people. I think we must begin to re-examine the evidence. We must begin to look closer to home." Jacques Vallée, who is well known in the UFO research world, has a PhD in computer science and has studied the UFO for several years. He has written several books on the subject, including Messengers of Deception. Vallée, who is not a Christian, believes the UFO phenomenon is being produced by interdimensional beings who are attempting to drastically alter our society. Vallée's conclusion is, "I would be disappointed if UFOs turn out to be nothing more than spaceships." Many non-Christian UFO investigators do reject the extraterrestrial theory outright and are convinced that there are intelligent beings responsible for the UFO phenomenon, that these non-physical beings have a keen interest in the affairs of humanity, and that these beings can manipulate matter and energy to suit their needs. Accepting the fact that the UFO phenomenon is real and rejecting the extraterrestrial theory is not limited to only Christians. For the few Christians who do cling to the extraterrestrial theory as being valid and an explanation of the UFO phenomenon, they may wish to consider the following explanations. First, beings similar to humans existing on other planets does not disprove that God is real. Second, beings similar to humans existing on other planets do not in any way invalidate the Bible as being God's word. Third, beings similar to humans existing on other planets are capable of being dishonest and deceptive for their selfish reasons. They are created beings with the ability to be mistaken and even be deceptive. Fourth, mankind still has a sin problem and only Jesus Christ can offer salvation. As Christians, we realize there are two realms of existence. One is physical and the other is non-physical, or the spiritual realm. We also know the spiritual realm was in existence before the creation of the physical realm. In the spiritual realm, there are many non-physical beings. In the spiritual realm, there are both holy and unholy angels. Can the unholy or fallen angels be responsible for the UFO phenomenon? These fallen angels or devils are willing and capable of producing miracles. See 2 Thessalonians 2:9, deceive and lie. They possess the means to manipulate energy and matter to produce visions and appear as human beings. These demons can also pose as other beings. Because they lie and deceive, many will give heed to seducing spirits. See Timothy 4:1. It is interesting to note that Satan is the prince and power of the air, and UFOs are seen in Earth's atmosphere, where Satan can use his power. Satan and his demons can produce lying wonders. This includes appearing as a human being or as a non-human being. While Satan and fallen angels have retained their original powers and abilities, they require permission from God to conduct their activities here on Earth.